that we will be continuing today. Everybody can see my screen? Yeah. You can see my screen, right? Okay. So here, what did I do was yesterday I had grabbed file, okay, to do your email analysis. So you can see here, this is the header. You can see whatever is there is here. So what did I do? I basically copied this, okay, and we wanted a live session, right? So pretty much we'll go here, we'll go to analyze header, okay. It's not basically a live one, but it's pretty much different scenario. Okay, within the for your understanding, I may understand the rollouts pretty clearly, but few people might want to know what exactly it is, right? So that's the reason. This gives you a detailed idea. It's not just logs here, just the header. It's not the frame here. It's not the center frame. It's also been categorized. Okay, so you'll get to know what is that, what is this. So this is one of the email which I took for an example. Okay, we'll finish this and we'll move on with further process because there are a lot of things to cover. Okay, so you can see here, this is the email header and will give you a few of the information. One, it says SPF alignment is wrong. Okay, but rest of the things are all right. So EMA complaint, SPF, DKM authentication. So everything is good. This something is went wrong with this process. So which was the one which I took? Basically, it was from here. Okay, so this was from hybrid. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Like you can hear me, right? Properly? Everybody is facing voice break. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. You can hear me clearly, right? Any issues with my voice? Okay. All right. Got it. So yesterday we basically spoke about the raw log scenario. Okay. Maybe some issue with that. Okay. But you can see here, this is from original sender, basically from hybrid sandboxing. Okay, it's a hybrid cloud. Okay, basically hybrid analysis. Do you hear about hybrid analysis? This also we use as a open source threat intelligence tool. Okay, we also use as open source threat intelligence tool. So I am a subscription member of this. So this will give you a little bit of detail about what kind of aspect it contains. Okay. Where is it? How to close this one? It will give you, it's basically, you can put hash values in them. You can basically put files in them. You can basically put all sorts of details to get what kind of IOCs, if there are any IOCs present in them or not. It's basically a sandboxing tool, open source threat intelligence sandboxing tool, which give you all sorts of details. Okay, URL you can paste, you can put documents also. But make sure when you're doing it in your organization, don't put any confidential information here because it's public and it will be shared. Okay, so never put any confidential information. But if you find any what do you say, malicious file, if you find that it's a malicious file, please put and check in this particular term. Okay, so you can see here, this is from the hybrid sandbox and you see a lot of details are here. So this has been passed, right? SPF, DKM, Denmark, everything is passed. So we'll check that in the email header. Okay, what exactly is going on here? Okay, this SPF alignment is the only problem here. Rest all is fine. It could be authenticated. Okay, so here you can see whom it was delivered to. Okay, was the recipient, right? I was the recipient. Okay, these are SMTP sources. Okay, where what is SMTP? The way it came from, right? Simple mail transfer protocol. So this is the protocol source where it came from, right? And this is the received, at what time it was received, and it's basically the time frame, the timestamp. We call it as timestamp, in which we get the particular email. Okay, so there are a few other major few things which we don't currently focus at that moment, but this is ARC message signature. It's basically authenticating, authenticating DMARC. Okay, DMARC thing. Okay, it's basically it will authenticate DMARC if DMARC signature is accurate or not. Okay, basically when it's checking for DMARC, it will check for DKM signatures as well. Okay, basically it's authenticating the messages itself. The messages, basically the content also, if everything is all right with that process. Okay, so you can see here it's authenticating result. Basically, it's authenticated the signature first, and now it's authenticating results. Okay, you can see here DMARC is pass, right? SPF is pass, right? And DMARC is also pass. So you can see every image which basically which is a header which checks for. So when you're mentioning with the interviewer, you will have to tell that here's authenticate results gives us the value of DKM being pass, SPF being pass, and DMARC being pass. Okay, so these are the few of the things that we'll be focusing on. So you can also see which is the header that's coming from. So which is the header, where is the main process, which domain is hitting us, you will get to see here. Okay. Now the important point here is you can also see return path, right? So you see return path is something else, right? Did you see an issue in the beginning? If you could see here, it says it says SPF alignment, right? SPF alignment is not right. So the reason it's saying that is because of this reason. That means the alignment of this is not right. So the sender is hybrid analysis, to whom send the mail, but the return path is not. As I said yesterday, if you can remember, I said the sender path and the return path should be the same, right? Right. So this, even though everything is cleared, so you can see DKM is cleared, you can see SPF is cleared, you can see DMARC is cleared, but it says that the return path is wrong, right? It's not wrong. Basically, it's showing something else, right? So basically, you have to check what exactly this process is, right? Let's check what is this. So let's check if. Minute. Okay. Basically, you'll have to understand why this is being taken, right? So what happens here is, as you can see here, it says Amazons.com. Okay. What happened here is this hybrid analysis is basically a cloud-based technology. Okay. It's hosted in cloud. So it doesn't have a physical server. It's there in S3 buckets. Okay. So here what happens is it directly does not reflect the hybrid analysis there, but it indirectly shows that it is being hosted in Amazon, because Amazon hosts a particular hybrid analysis tool. So it is stored in S3 buckets. Okay. So it is stored in the S3 buckets. That's the reason it will give you the image as Amazons.com. Okay. It's storing in Amazon cloud. Okay. AWS cloud. Okay. So that's the reason. As you can see, it's also says the header is Amazon.com header value. Okay. Google Chrome. That's the reason it's passed. The reason it is passed because it was able to authenticate by SPF, saying that this exactly meets to hybrid analysis. If it did not meet SPF, or in the case DKI would have been failed, because there is no key. Right? There is no key. There is a private key or a public key to actually meet this requirement. At the same time, there is no IP also which actually meets this requirement, because at the end, both has to communicate to the IP, right? Both has to communicate with the IP in order to make sure that this is pretty much what it says, right? So that's the reason these issues will be processed. Okay. Sorry guys, my network is little weak today. Okay. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay. Did you understand? Did you understand the process? Yeah. So the reason it was showing as SPF alignment is wrong is because of that reason. Because see, we as a security analyst, we know these kinds of process, but just with the understanding of what do you say, with the machine, it won't be able to understand it accurately, right? So you can see this is the reason. Okay. Let me give one more example. It is Denmark signature. See here, Denmark signature public record is right, right? So it gives this particular path, the content, a green signature, wherein it has authenticated the DKM public record and it is aware that it is present over there, right? So that's the reason. This is the record value, okay, and this is the signature. You can see Shah 256 is the signature, okay, hybrid analysis, right? So it gives you the reply. So it basically what it does is DKM re-authenticates by sending a reply, right? So H reply from subject so and so in the date, and this basically authenticates that this is a DKM signature is accurate. Okay, where is it? Okay. So you also have to check the subject as well, what exactly that does mean. So sometimes, many times what happens is with the subject also, you may be able to understand what exactly is the content is pretty much is, right? So you can see here, this is the mail which I got. Okay, this is the mail which I got yesterday. Not yesterday, basically a few days back. So this is the process. Okay, you can see all the contents are pretty much present here, and it gives a value saying that when it was done and when it was not done. So any doubt, guys, with this process? So we know why exactly this return path was little different, because it's coming from Amazon's, because hybrid analysis is basically a what do you call it, hosted in cloud. So it doesn't have its own physical server. It's hosted in cloud. That's why when the return path is set, it is set to be from Amazon's. Okay, understood, guys? Got it? So you can also see authentication request saying that authentication results. Finally, it checks for authentication to Amazon. Check where. In the toolbox, it doesn't give you much result. I'll show you why. Because it's hosted in cloud only, no? But this is a cloud hosting service. Okay, well, we can check. We can check Amazons.com. Where is it? Let's check it here also. Okay, we can check it here also. Okay, we'll check it in virus total. Okay. Yeah, this is not a phishing app because this is a genuine one. I signed it also, right? I signed it also. This is not a issue. Okay, Amazons. Because you can see, CN is Amazon. The server, it's a server from Amazon. You can see it. Issuer is Amazon, right? So you can see here, subject is cn.www.amazons.com. Okay. I can't log in. Okay, this thing. This is correct. Yeah. So SPF is basically, no, SPF is not wrong. Okay, SPF is not wrong. It never said that SPF record is not wrong. Okay, see here, SPF record published is SPF record found, right? SPF depreciation, no depreciation, right? So you can see pretty much SPF, all the SPF records and the void lookups are pretty much right. You can see it has a green signal. That means it's already being authenticated. SPF is already being authenticated. The only problem here is SPF is alignment is wrong. That's because the alignment is wrong. The reason is being the return path. It couldn't because as I said, right? So this is not an issue, guys. This is not an issue because see, if these three things are passed, right? If these three things are authenticated, that means it's genuine only. If something goes wrong, then that means this has to be false. Okay, somewhere it has to fail. But if it's trying to authenticate, that means it's genuine. The reason it's saying that SPF alignment, look, okay, alignment is wrong is because, as I said yesterday, this and this has to match. Okay, okay, but it's not a reason that since it's not matching, it's completely wrong. Because sometimes what happens is few of the websites are completely hosted on cloud. It doesn't have a physical servers at all. At that point in time, it doesn't show the exact location. It just shows that it is being hosted in cloud. Okay, it says it's been hosted in cloud. That's the reason. Sometimes there is a reason for this to be little weird. So I'll give you an example. Okay, so you can see email to CrowdStrike. It's saying that the email is going to CrowdStrike, right? So Demark says that email is going to CrowdStrike. Okay. So you can see here in the email, Demark. So finally, Demark is the one which says that hybrid analysis is true, right? It shows that hybrid analysis is true. It says here also, email was sent to CrowdStrike. That means CrowdStrike, you know, right? It's a legitimate organization. Everybody knows about, right? What is CrowdStrike, right? Hopefully everybody knows what exactly is CrowdStrike, right? This is one of the way to identify. You have to give a little bit of more analysis also. Okay, so everybody knows what exactly is CrowdStrike. So here it says the email was sent to CrowdStrike for authentication. What it did here is Demark. Okay, what was done here is, so somewhere some process got triggered and it was sending an authentication confirming that this hybrid analysis is a genuine. Okay, so it sent a authentication request to CrowdStrike. So here, as you can see, CrowdStrike acquired Payload Security, the company behind the automation malwares analysis sandbox technology hybrid. So it acquired or developed a particular tool software which is sandbox technology hybrid analysis on November 2017. So hybrid analysis is a part of CrowdStrike. That's the reason you see here there is a mail that has been sent to CrowdStrike to authenticate the request. So you can see this is a part of CrowdStrike. It was developed by CrowdStrike and it's a part of CrowdStrike. Hybrid analysis is a part of CrowdStrike. Okay, so now you can be completely sure that this is been authenticated by all three. We also got to know from our external analysis saying that this was genuine, and at the same time this is right. Okay, it doesn't matter if the SPF alignment is here and there, it doesn't matter. But because you know genuinely, but CrowdStrike owns hybrid analysis, and that's a genuine service provider as well, right? It's basically a tool, and it's a genuine service provider as well. And you see, even SPF authentication was passed for IP, right? Public record is also contained, so everything is clear, right? Only the scene is this was not exactly what it was, right? Because it says it's from Amazon. If it was hybridanalysis.com itself, then it's fine. Okay, then it's even more fine. The SPF alignment will be green. Okay, since it is hosted by the cloud, many cloud service providers will not show the exact location here. Okay, that's why it says that it's wholesomely leaving to that particular point. Okay, it's like a house. Somebody shows my house is here, somebody shows my house is there, but there are few people who exactly doesn't show. They'll tell that my house is in this particular location. Okay, it's in Vijayanagar, or if it's in Kuempu Nagar, like that they'll show. So it's basically like that. So Amazon is just showing that this is my domain where all the process resides of hybrid analysis. So it's exactly like that. Understood, guys? You also confirmed saying that this was hybrid analysis was developed by CrowdStrike. So you get to know that your analysis, what you did was accurate. Okay, understood? Any questions? So these are the few of the ways that you can, identify few things, gather few things, based on this, you can gather few stuff as well. What Denmark had analyzed. So few of the things what you gather, right? You can also look it up in the internet to get more clarity, right? So if you do not do that, you won't have much depth analysis. So every time when you try to check out few things, understand that particular preference itself. Don't just tell just because this is false, we'll consider it as false. No, you have to have a detailed picture wherein you have to gather as much as information to consider this as a true positive or a false positive. Okay, as an analyst, you have to have that urge to do that. Okay, don't with just 2-3 document you can't tell that this is false or this is true, because hackers are getting involved way too much and they are trying to outrun the tools as well. So you have to be double sure, because at the end you are the one who is giving decisions, right? So it has to be accurate. You shouldn't give a wrong decision and say that this is completely safe and all, right? So you have to make sure that that builds up. The case what you do is builds up. Okay, you can see the SMTP server reads to this, right? So it's authenticated email SMTP servers. Okay, it's green, not red, right? Okay, hopefully you understood, right? IP address is not malicious. As you can see, SPF record it contains, as you see here, SPF pass record for IP. You don't have to check somewhere else because it's already been authenticated, right? You don't have to check separately, because this will do that all the process. SPF will do that authentication by itself. Here as a security analyst, right, we have to minimize the process as well. We don't have a lot of time to do this certain process. So at the same time, we have to develop in a situation wherein we'll whatever the knowledge is authenticated, it's fine. But apart from that, what extra we can get, that is the key thing. So here IP has already been authenticated by SPF. Why would we again go and authenticate? Because SPF already contains the record, right? So we don't have to. If it was failed, yes, we have to check why it was failed, what was the reason, then that could be the different case scenario. But if it's getting authenticated, you don't have to. Okay. Okay, guys. Any question? MX toolbox. What is this? What if only DKIM authentication alone failed? Okay. What is this? Somebody sent something. DKIM authentication. Signature verified. Signature is not valid. Okay. Let me check. Which is the process techgig.com to Rahul. Okay, we'll analyze this. Okay. What Denmark says? Denmark doesn't give you the value, right? Denmark, it says it's complete, but DKIM is failed. Architect.com. Let's check what exactly is this. Okay. We're checking the content here. What exactly is this? Details, information technology. I think it's something related to a company which belongs to Taurus. We'll check what is. It's a competitive program technology communication website owned by Times Internet. Okay. Okay. This is this. Let's see what exactly Taurus is. It is owned. Subject is Taurus. What was the subject here? Activity, handbox, activity or account. Earlier, I'm checking somewhere else. That's why I was looking. What? Where was it? Okay. I felt a little weird. I was checking the wrong process. Okay, what was the subject here? Subject says quality analyst automation Noida participate in now this challenge. Some hiring. Okay, we know this is a particular company. Okay, we know this is certainly legitimate. Okay, let's see where is the signature, authentication signature. DKIM. It says pass. Okay, Denmark is also pass. Okay, where is SPF? SPF is also pass. So three things are passed already here. Okay, it's already passed. As you can see here, Denmark is pass, DKIM is also pass. Sorry, and it also says SPF is also passed. Okay, it's authenticated already. Okay, signature verified. Signature did not verify. Okay, but it contains a record. Return path also. Yeah, we'll check return path also. Okay, yeah, return path is pretty much accurate. Okay, that means it's actually going to it's actually going to the correct vendor, which is what? Technique. Okay, which is a complete programming and technology company, some company related to something. Okay, where is it? So return path is fine. Record is also fine. Signatures also fine. Not signature. DKM signature. Let me check. 1 second. Case management. 1 second, guys. Let me, before I give you the answer, right? I'll check before that. So the record is already there. Okay. So the record is already there. DKM is already passed. Okay. That means the key has been shared. That means it has been the key has been shared, and at the same time, SPF is also being able to authenticate. But the signature is pretty much wrong. Signature is the main issue here, right? 1 second. Let me check what exactly is wrong here. Then D is D, and where is D? D is also matching. Okay, D is also matching. Okay, something here might have got triggered. Let me search if it's I'm able to find it somewhere else. 7 are there. Where is this? Okay. Okay. This says it's been blacklisted by Google MX domain. Okay. Okay. So signature, it says only the DMail authentication signature base is wrong. Rest everything is all right. Even the record is also found. Okay, record is also found. DKLM alignment signature is also right. Signature. There could be a reason that they would have not, what you say, how to put it. They would have not. No, this is not a phishing mail. No, this never be considered as a phishing mail. The reason because you see here, everything as authentication results are passed. Okay, it's just the signature that is being validated. That means only the signature that is being going wrong, but everything is present. Okay, so if any record contains, if the records are there, then you don't have to worry about that because it's already there. Something might have gone with the signature, even very legitimate organization, some or the other things will go here and there. Okay, that signature was not verified, or if it was not verified specifically, but the end goal is to check if everything passed or not. But it's only the authentication wherein the signature was not met the criteria. So we cannot consider let alone that this is the phishing email just because the signature was not accurate. Because as you can see here, DKM is pass, SPF is also pass, and Denmark is also pass, right? It doesn't fail here. As you can see in the authentication request, it never failed in any way, right? It never failed in any way. Even if you can see, the return path is also going to the same content, right? So there is no reason to tell for us that this is a phishing mail. No, we cannot say that. Okay. So if the record is present, then is accurate. Sometimes what happens is you know it is due to the DNS query that which will be basically searched in the public keys, okay, for the domain. Okay, sometimes that run key will probably be missed. Okay, I'm not sure why is the reason that usually happens, but so DKM signature are basically used to determine where to look this key for. Okay, this DNS signature is basically used to determine where to look this key for. Okay, if it was found, it can use to decrypt the DKM signature back to its original hash value, or else it cannot. Right. So basically, it was not being able to fetch that particular key. Okay, the DNS query was not being able to fetch that particular key. Okay, that's the reason that this issue has happened. Okay, it doesn't mean that this is a false one. Okay, it doesn't mean that is a false one. The reason being the record is already present. The record is there. If the record is not found, right, that means it's not been registered only in the first place. It was not registered only in the first place. Then then it will become false because the record itself was not found. Then it will become false. Then you can tell that this is a phishing email, or something. It could be a scam, or it could be a spoofed. Okay, or else we can pretty much say that this is all right. Argi. ID reply ID are the same, but ID is different. What ID? Let me check. Subject is welcome to here has been created. Reply to ey.com from ey.com. Okay, talent. This is one talent acquisition, right? Okay. So see the authentication pass. Repeat contains pass. Only one thing is passed. Pass then. See. Is DKM, nothing is present. Democ is complete. Democ, it says alignment and authenticated. Okay, where is it? Okay, where is the record? No. Where is the record? I can't see if it's been authenticated or not. SPF is passed. So DMARC complaint, DMARC SPF alignment, SPF is authenticated, DMARC alignment is wrong, DKM alignment, okay, and DKM authenticate, it's wrong. Same thing, I think the signature would have not got, okay, because this is the reason, because signature would have not present. Same issue with the previous as well, okay. But you can see SPF IP, different IPs. because the reason is being DKM considers, see, DKM only considered it as green when both SPF and DKM is right. Okay. No, DKM didn't fail. DKM alignment is wrong, and because the DKM has its own record. It has its own record. Okay. In DKM, EY the record is there. Okay. It's just that that signature has been here and there. Signature has been got messed up. Okay. The DNS query not being able to fetch the particular DNS DKM signature. That's the reason this issue we are facing. Okay. Apart from that, we see DEMARC is pretty much clean. That means both SPF and DKM is already passed. Okay. DKM is failed. That's what, man. That's what I'm telling you. It's a signature that went wrong. Record is already present. You don't see DKM record missing, right? Records are already there. Records in the sense there in the sense EY has been already considered a legitimate source, right? No, no, it won't be because record is already there. That means it's passed. It's already passed. Okay. See, at the same time, as you can see earlier, you also saw this SPF alignment is red, right? But did it say that DKM is wrong? No, right? Because just the alignment, the record is already there. As you can see here, SPF record was already there. Only the alignment was wrong. Okay, only the alignment was wrong. Okay, it's the same thing here also. It's the same thing here also, wherein DKM authenticated. It was wrong. Somebody, Deepak, I think Deepak sent. But as you see here, record is already there. Record is published. Record is already there. It cannot say just because authentication failed and record is already there. Just because it couldn't verify it, it won't say that DMARC is failed, right? It's similar to this also. Since it's not here, but still, as you can see, it's only DKM record and DKM. That means signature and alignment was only twofold. But the reason DMARC complaint was accurate and it was passed, the reason is being record was already present. So that means if the record is present, that means we can consider it as genuine. Okay. If the record is present, that means we can consider it as genuine. Okay. That's the reason DMARC was passed. Okay. You understood that reason, right? Why it is passed? Okay. Got it, right? Why it is passed? We just can't consider just because the alignment or the process was right. The record is already present. You can see in different cases also. See here, authenticated DKM authenticated was missing, but you see here, records are there. Records are published, syntax are there, right? See, the reason here is we can't solely determine on one thing, okay? Because it's the same thing with threat intelligence also. Few of the hash value may be different from one threat intelligence to that other threat intelligence. It's what you conclude at the end. Okay, it's what you conclude at the end. Okay, as you can see here, this is from this is a different one. Which is this? Okay, this is from our mail was sent to see here. DMARC, what it did was it is a part. This is a part of EY. It's a part of this particular where it can authenticate. Okay, so what DMARC did is it sent out a authentication request. Okay, it sent out an authentication request to this particular process where it was authenticated. That's why DMARC is pretty much pass. Okay, the reason it was being able to authenticate that it was from EY, as you can see, ey.rau.org.com. It was sent here, and you can see this is in green, right? This is in green, right? That's the reason it pretty much said that DMARC is passed. Okay, if it was red, then that means DMARC would have failed. We can consider it as a spam. Okay, the reason we cannot allow the reason that just because the key was not pretty much out there, that's the reason we will consider it as false. Okay, we cannot say that. As you can see, DMARC is passed. That means SPF and DKM are pretty much passed. Only the authentication and the alignment was pretty much here and there. Alignment, let's see. Okay, alignment. Where is it? DKM alignment, DKM. Okay, let me check here. Where is it? It's not there on the array. Okay. let us get more information about it. See, details area. DKIM heinous and the DKIM record from the executor for the domain DKIM signature D is equal to domain.com. This used to relax the format of the default, which means the subdomain would align as well. So it says somewhere the subdomain has missed. Okay, the main domain is already there, but somewhere the subdomain has missed. Okay, that's the reason it was considered as a different process. It got missed by the subdomain. Okay, but the domain is accurate. That's why you see here. Okay, if you see here, that's the reason Denmark has passed the value. Okay, that's why the Denmark has passed the value. Okay, if the main domain also would have missed, then it would have been a problem. But the only subdomain was wrong. That's the reason DKIM alignment was not right. Okay. This one site direct, some random site. Okay, not sure what exactly is this. Is authenticated first. See, Denmark will pass if SPF and DKIM passes. If the SPF and alignment is little off and the DKIM alignment is also little off, then it's fine. But it has to pass. It has to contain a record. The record should be there, guys. Okay, the record should be there. You see here, record should be there. Okay, if the record, if SPF authentication is failed, that means the domain itself will be missing. So when you see this record is passed, right? This authentication is also passed because it can accurate. It is interlinked. This is linked. Okay, this is linked with the record. The domain is being able to pass is because the IP was passed, right? That means it's already registered. Okay, that there is number of different ways it plays out. Okay. I won't go to that because you guys are already getting confused. I just wanted to stay simple, but you guys put so many things that you're getting confused. Okay, so the reason here is, let me take out the pen. Okay, tell you. Okay, see, you can't tell that just because Denmark is passed, then SPF and other processes are already wrong, right? If Denmark is passed, that means it's authenticated itself. Because if Denmark fails, that means SPF or DKIM is failing somewhere. Okay, it's failing somewhere. Our end goal is to understand why it's been failing and if it's legitimate or not. Okay, there are many reasons that it could fail. The signature would have not been updated. Okay, they wouldn't have the latest signature of that particular process because you have to pay to update that signature, right? If it's not paid, if it's missing some values, then that could be the case, right? You have to, what you call yearly what we do, subscription or something like that, right? That we have to pay. In that point in time, these kinds of issue happen. But Denmark is the key wherein if this is part, it's the same thing is equal to SPF and DKIM. Okay, it doesn't matter if some alignment is missing or some other process is missing. The only reason it's being passed because it can record itself. It contains, it authenticates, and it's verified to the sender that this is been accurate or not. Only when that is accurate, Denmark will be passed, or else it will fail. Okay, if Denmark is failed, that means somewhere, some point it's missing. Some record is missing, some process is not being able to authenticate. Okay, it's not everywhere that just because few of the domain fails, we'll consider it as a phishing, right? We cannot consider that. So let me tell you, you do some activity in the Tor browser, you do some activity, so you know yourself as legitimate, right? You do not do something malicious. You know, you go to Tor browser, something you're curious. And you do some stuff over there and your IP is blacklisted. You know that, right? Your IP will be blacklisted. So it doesn't mean that you are a malicious actor, right? It doesn't mean you're a malicious actor. Okay. Yes, after some time it will come back to normal. Your IP blacklisting could go up to 4 to 8. Okay. When you visit Tor browser. Okay. Because Tor browser leads to malicious connections, right? But it doesn't mean that you are a bad person. Something would have got missing, right? But we have to make sure that your entire severity of the process is right. You have a record proper, you have some other process. Just because the alignment and few other things have missed, That doesn't mean. Okay, signature might have missed because the DKIM signature was not updated accurately or it was not renewed. Okay, certifications will get renewed, right? So every certifications will get renewed. So yearly it will be updated 1 or 2 years later it will get updated. If this signature is not renewed, you will face few issues. That means that these kinds of failures will happen. So it doesn't mean that EY itself is wrong, right? Because it's reaching to a proper path and DKM was confirmed as pass, right? You have to consider all factors. That's why your analysis, right? So you have to consider all the factor. Yeah, it was not updated. So that means the signature might have been not updated at certain point. Or else, see, if there is no record only, then it's a false. I can consider that, oh, damn, there is no record only of this particular process being there. Okay. Then it won't even, DKIM signature also won't be there. DKIM element also won't be there. And majority of the system fails at that point in time. Okay. The record needs to be present. Somewhere it has to document, right, that this is legitimate and it contains a record, right? So that's why this DMARC will pretty much be passed. Okay. Understood, guys, where I'm going through? You can't consider only because of one clue that we cannot ignore every other fact. Okay, we cannot ignore every other. As I said earlier, just because the alignment was wrong, we cannot ignore the fact that everything other thing is right. Right? You see the majority at the times, right? You see the majority. As a security analyst, you will analyze few things and you see the majority of what things fail. Same thing as virus open source threat intelligence tool. Okay, if you check a particular IP is wrong in one particular, let's say in virus total, it's considered as blacklisting. You will not tell the okay, this is blacklisted. You will check in different threat intelligence to get the idea about it, right? So that's how it works. You cannot consider only on the baseline that this is false. Okay. Yeah, if DKIM record is, if either SPF or either DKIM records are not present, that means DMARC will fail. Okay, understood? Record needs to be present. It's like what you say. You're working in a company, right? How the company will authenticate yourself? Because it has registered in your name. It has a record over you, right? Without a record, do you think you are eligible to work in that company if they don't have the record? These signatures are pretty much your key card entry. Your key card entry are basically your signature. Okay, sometimes what happens is your key card was not updated to go to a specific room. That's why it triggered as a black. That doesn't mean that you are not even the part of the company, right? You cannot throw you off. They cannot throw you off just because you were not able to go to some specific room without a key card, which was not updated there. That doesn't mean that you are a wrong guy in the wrong building, right? So you are working in that company. You have the record. It's just that the signature that in your key card was not registered for that particular room, right? It's just that fault, right? It doesn't mean that you are not even working in that company, right? You understand my point, right? Okay, Deepak, you got it, right? What I'm talking about. Understood, right? It's pretty much in that way. Okay, just because every person who is working in the company, their records are there in the company for which they can verify, yes, this is from, you are from this organization, right? If your key, let's say if you're going to some meeting hall wherein your key card is not updated for that to match that particular signature, that doesn't mean that since you cannot go to the room, you're not even a part of the company, right? It's pretty much like that. Maybe it was not updated. Maybe something wrong with the process. Maybe the DNS query was not being able to fetch that particular log. But you are a part, right? Your record is already there, right? So that's the reason these things will pretty much get flagged. Doesn't mean that this is entirely wrong. Okay, got it? Understood, guys? Any doubt, guys? You got the scenario, right? What I'm talking about? Guys, yes or no? I see only few people talking to me. Where are the others? Hello guys, everyone. Sumit is there, Sai is there, Rahul is there, Deepak is there. Where are other guys? That's what, right? You have to check the DK Denmark. At the end, Denmark has to pass. If Denmark is failing, that means something is not right. Some record is been missing. Okay, at that point, you can say that this particular is a spoofed or a spam. It's not phishing entirely, guys. Okay, see, not every email coming to you is a phishing email. There are so many different categories. There are marketing spam, there are spam, okay, there are sextortion emails, okay, there is just advertisement emails, okay, there are so many things. There are, you cannot consider everything as a phishing. So in our organization also there'll be close to, I'll analyze close to 10 email. Okay, let's say 8. Okay, 8 emails per day. In that, majority of the time it will be marketing spam itself. Very rarely I'll find it phishing. Okay, phishing are little rare, but we see a lot of credential stealers, lot of other stealers. We do not consider it as a phishing at one point. Okay, there are different categories wherein we'll sell. This is a credential harvester, wherein this mail is meant to harvest credentials. Okay, few phishing is the one where they send malicious code, malicious script, and trying to compromise your system, send something out of it. Okay, apart from that, there are different categories. That's why I sent yesterday, I sent you different types of emails at the same time to learn about more in detail. Okay, all good, right? Hopefully, uh, apart from signature, yeah, see, mainly you will have to deal with this authentication request. So some, if something is trying to authenticate, you have to make sure that authenticates, right? If it's authenticating all right, then it's fine. If it's not being able to authenticate, then it's a problem. So authentication, in the sense, Dermark has to pass. Okay, authenticating in the sense, it is there, the record is already present. Okay, it is a part of some organization. Okay, it is a part of some organization wherein the genuinity is there. Okay, so that's what you're checking. Apart from that, you are also checking on URLs. If somebody sends a URL, you will copy that and you will put it in your dirty lab. If your organization has, okay, you will try to replicate the same process in the dirty lab, because dirty lab is a separate environment. Okay, it's a separate environment. Dirty lab is a separate, it's like a VM environment where you send your if the email contains some PDF file or document, okay, PDF file or some URLs, what you do, you redirect it over there and you try to open it, and this PDF will be sent to sandboxing. You know what is sandboxing, right? It's separate and wherein these files will get triggered, so pretty much like Joe Sandbox, Joe Sandbox, sandbox.com. So this is one of the email. This is has to be registered by the company email and it has to be subscribed. Only then you will be able to do it. Okay. We use Joe Sandbox and we use the Dirty Lab to identify the URLs. Okay. And the other contents. Okay. Apart from that, as I said earlier, yesterday, we see majority of the other processes. Well. Domain we'll check. Okay. So any issue, urgency emails that we check. If it's asking for any personal information, right? Like it is asking for your credentials, please change your credentials karke. So you'll check all these factors. Apart from that, you'll also check the header. So as a security analyst, you will not check only on authentication and consider this other process. You will be checking every process and then coming to a conclusion. Okay, yesterday we spoke about that, right? We checked on different aspects, different scenarios, and then we came to a conclusion, right? So it's pretty much like that. Got it, guys? Any doubts? Any doubt? Clear? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Others, they're good to go. Okay. There are different aspects. Okay. Don't worry, you don't have to hit your head so much. This was a complete in-depth scenario wherein we checked on major things. Okay, don't worry. You will understand once you pretty much work on it. That's how you learn when you physically do things, right? You will learn at that point in time. Okay. But if you are focusing on the interview, for the people who are focusing on interview, this is pretty much fine. Hopefully, the other person who is either show who was that the person who was doing something else. Hopefully you got the answer as well. Okay. Kedarshu. Okay. Kedar Sahu. Okay. It was merged up, so I didn't know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason, because I didn't want it to leave you unsatisfied. Since you guys said that it's nothing, because see, the reason I only read through like this. Okay, I need only this much. I don't need categories and all, but I try to tell few of the facts here. But it's good that you wanted a detailed picture and you asked for it, in which I gave. So that's good, right? That's good enough. That's what we focus on. Satisfaction is the main thing. Okay. All right. So that is done. Okay. 1 more hour went off in phishing. Hopefully nobody has any doubt in phishing. Okay. It was a complete depth session. Okay. Now we'll understand small things about email flow. Email flow. Because you need to understand, since you learned about phishing, it's also important that understand the email flow as well. Okay, got it? Okay. I want you to research a few topics about POP3 and IMAP. You know what is POP3 and IMAP, right? Few things, just for the interview sake, or that you need to understand this. I won't go much in depth, but to see the difference, I want to see the difference. That will be the major. Okay, guys, understood? Many people didn't do the assignments. Please do it. It's very important. And as I said, people will keep a track of it. Okay. Yeah, it's a message protocol too. Okay. It's a message protocol. But see the difference why we are using POP3 and why we are using IMAP. Okay. If I tell, it will still drag the process and I will be not being able to complete the portion. But these are pretty, layman sort of thing. So it's pretty easy. You can pretty much read and understand what exactly is. Yes, exactly. Send and receive email. Okay. So that's what we're going to check now. Okay. We'll check on the email flow. Guys, please do this. Okay. See the difference. That's all I want. Okay. See the difference. Okay. It's pretty easy. It's pretty plain and simple. Okay, and do you guys know which we use in this? In this, which we use? Anyone? No, not anyone. I want everyone to answer this. Which we use? SMTP. No. In these two. Number 1, number 2. I want everyone to answer, guys, please. Speak up with the process. Okay, just tell guys, I just want everyone to be involved. I don't want you to be right or wrong. We are here to learn, right? So it's okay if you give wrong answer also. Okay, I'm not gonna judge you for many things. Yeah, Sabu is pretty much Babu, SS Babu is pretty much right. For offline, we use POP3. For online, we use IMAP. That's pretty accurate. Good. Okay. So here we use IMAP. Even our Gmail uses IMAP. Gmail also uses IMAP. Majority of the process, our Outlook and other stuff, everywhere we use IMAP. Right? As Babu said, this is an online process. Offline are meant by POP3. Okay, POP3 is rarely used. POP3 is rarely used. but majority for all the emails and other communication we use IMAP only. Okay, that's the reason I said you please look it up. You'll understand why we are using IMAP more than POP3. Okay, you'll see the difference. Okay, and I'll give a small hint of Gmail also, so you'll probably understand it later. Okay, got it, guys? So that's the reason. See, a few people are confused which we are using. So if you're confusing on what kind of protocols itself you're using when you're working in an organization or generally when you're doing your Gmail. So if you don't know that, then it's a problem, right? So they'll think, hey, this guy knows phishing, what exactly is phishing, but he doesn't know what kind of protocols they use. So that's a problem, right? So please read about that. Okay. All right. So we'll work with the email flow. Okay. So let me just draw some diagram. Guys, you'll do, right? Assignment. If you don't want to, if you don't want to get a shot in interview selection, interview process quickly, then you can choose to ignore. Okay. But if you wanting the shot in interview, you need to do assignments, guys. Okay. Yeah, people will see how much work you put on. Only on that basis, you will be pretty much be climbing up the radar. Okay, or else you will be in the late state wherein your name could be considered last. Okay, if there is some opportunity, right? People, what happens is if people are very well exceptional candidates, they need people something like that. So this can be determined in that way. That's the reason. If you're very good at what you do, complete assignments, other this process, your name will pop out very much, where it will highlight. So if there is any openings, then you have put your effort more than anybody else, then you might get a shot, right? I'm not telling that you will get a shot. You might get a shot, right? It's just that your name will be in the tip of the tongue. So, that happens. That used to happen earlier a lot. Okay, people who are really exceptional, they're like, okay, this guy is good. Maybe he can crack the interview. Few interviews he might crack, right? So it's like that. Everywhere it's competition, right? So you have to involve with that. I guess it doesn't mean that others are not getting a shot at all. No, I don't mean that. Every single person will get a shot. It's that how quickly you will get a shot. That's the key thing. Okay, how quickly you will get a shot. Everybody is eager to get a job, right? Like proper with good package and stuff like that. So that's where it helps. Or else I don't have any issue. You do or you don't do. My job is done. I have taught you and I have, for your better knowledge, I'll tell you. So it's up to you guys. Right? I can force you and hold your neck and tell, hey, do this. No, right? Okay. So this is done. Setup. Okay. So a few things. Let's say I'm Bob. Okay. I'm sending an email to James. Okay, Bob and James are close friends, so they're trying to send. So what we'll do is, for a different change, we'll send from our private email. From our private email. Do you guys know which is our private email? We consider it as our private email. This is web-based. Anybody? Private email. Anybody knows? Don't know? Yeah, organization email. Yeah. No. Yahoo is our web-based. Web-based email. Private, corporate, private email, corporate email. This is app-based. Okay, I'll just put it like that. Outlook, right? Guess are taking too long to answer me. Let's say this is using Gmail or Yahoo. Okay, so the transfer is done from here to here. Okay, so this is me. UA. What do you mean by UA? Any idea? While transferring, somebody will fetch from here to going through from the corporate to the private email system. What is UA, guys? What is UA, guys? Okay. Pooja was the first one to reply. Anybody else? No one? Okay, this is user agent. Exactly. Pooja was right. This is user agent. Okay. So here, no, not user application, user agent. Okay. No, not universal access. No. Okay, it's user agent who will fetch from the server or some other place to basically transfer the email. When you're sending an email, your user agent from here will be sending to the private email system to MTA. What is MTA, guys? Anybody? What is MTA? Anybody? Any idea? MTA? No? Okay. Yes. Okay, that is message transfer agent. Okay, message transfer. This message transfer agent is the process which actually transfers the mail, and it uses one protocol to send the particular email. What is that protocol? MTA uses one protocol to send the data, to move the data. What is that? You guys know about it. Where are others? Guys, no, FTP is the file transfer protocol. File transfer, not that you do file transfer, you do within internal movement, system to system, from here to that system you send off. Let's say from folder to folder, to different what do you call, shared networks. Okay, SMTP is the protocol that we use. Guys, you have to be quick and accurate. Okay, even if it's wrong, it's fine, but you have to be quick at least. SMTP is the protocol. Okay, so this is how our typically workflow is pretty much is. Okay, so an user agent will forward to the email private email system, from there the SMTP server will pretty much transfer to the message transfer agent, wherein this message transfer agent will go through different phases, different IPs or locations, finally reaching to the internet, wherein the user will access. So while sending, we send it through SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, through that it will send, but while receiving, it will be through POP3 or IMAP. So majority we will see IMAP. Okay, how the user receives that particular event. Okay, but while sending, it will be sent through SMTP, but while receiving, it will be received through IMAP or POP3. Okay. So here you can consider this to make sure this is in your head. You can consider your SMTP as your postman or postmaster. Okay, you can consider this as a postman, and this is your post office. MTA is your post office. So let's say that your message is going from Bangalore to Delhi. So Bangalore to Delhi. Okay, Bangalore to Delhi it's going. So what happens? Your SMTP is your postman who's basically sending it from location to location. Okay, this MT is your post office. So it has to go to different post office, right? So it has to go to different post office and finally lead the location. So it's pretty much like that. Don't think about in modern ways wherein a train will be there, it will directly go to Delhi. We'll consider this is when it comes to letters itself. Okay, in the old age, how they used to send, it used to get transferred from there would be one person who would take the letters in the old age to different post office, send it here, go to this post office, send it here, go to this post office, send it here. Like that they used to go. Okay, in a cart. In a cart, they used to visit different post offices like that. So we can consider that as MTA. Okay, different post offices is MTA, and this person being the postmaster, he is the SMTP. Okay, so like that you can consider different so that it will be in your head. This is the postmaster, this is the post office. Okay, finally it will reach through the destination. Okay, guys, understood? This is a simple. I just wanted to show the simple email flow. How does the transfer happens when an email is sent? How does the transfer happens? Okay, if you configure Gmail in Outlook, then it will be pop. Then it will pop 3 or. Yeah, it's IMAP itself. Okay, it's IMAP. Majority of the time you'll see IMAP itself. If you are doing any offline download, that means it's POP3. Okay, it is POP3. Or else any online, then right now you're sending to one person to another person, and if he's being able to receive that is IMAP itself, because this is an online process that's been happening, and he will receive through IMAP itself. But you can definitely configure. You can configure in Gmail also, you can configure in Outlook also, basically configuring it to either, if you want POP3, you can configure it to POP3, but if you want to configure it to IMAP, but you can configure it to IMAP. But there are certain limitations in POP3, and there are some advantages also. There are some limitations in IMAP also. There are some advantages in IMAP. That's why I wanted to tell you that please learn a little bit more about POP3 and IMAP so that you get a brief clarity. But when you configure, we as corporate people, we cannot use POP3. Okay, we require IMAP. Okay, constant communication will happen everywhere. We need emails as our main priority, right? So for us, IMAP is the only thing. Okay, good enough. Okay. Only receiving emails is either POP3 or IMAP. Sending is through SMTP itself. Okay, you got it? Understood, guys? Any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Understood, right? Yeah, offline storing is POP3. Yes, in Outlook, if you want to store offline and all, if you want to keep it offline, and if you keep in POP3, right, it won't be stored in some other system and all. If you use POP3, if you delete it, it won't be present in another system. So that's why I meant please learn about it more. Okay, but if you want to store it offline, you can use POP3. Okay. Any question, guys? Sorry about this. Yeah, all users obviously. No, that's what I said. You can configure it. Okay, corporate organization we use online. So when you're getting any emails, right, without see, majority of the company uses IMAP itself. Nobody uses POP3. Okay, the reason being when the locally they may store, but when you're receiving, it will be received through IMAP. Okay, locally when they store and they want to preserve it, let's say archive it, it will be stored in POP3 itself. Okay, understood? It depends on organization and organization also how they want it to store. Okay, because there is an option. I didn't get your question, man. What? I didn't get your question. It's IMAP itself. It's IMAP itself. Pretty much majority of the time it will be using through IMAP itself. Okay, you can configure it. Okay. it generally will be configured as IMAP itself. Okay, it will be configured as an IMAP itself, but if you want, if the person want, they can change it to POP3. But generally, it will be configured as IMAP. Right now, whatever the protocols that are used currently will be configured in IMAP itself. Okay. Got it? Because when you're changing from POP3 to IMAP, right, you're changing the port also. Okay, you're changing the port also, wherein the port will be for POP3 will be 995. The port for IMAP will be 993. So you have to make sure when you're changing, you'll change for different sections as well. Okay. Which part of Office 365 in the sense? Who is using what? We do not have any such method, but see, not everyone in an organization, they don't have the authority to change unless, because when you're making some changes, obviously it will be triggered as an alert. You're making a changes to a protocol, right? So you can't randomly make any changes to the protocol just like that. Okay. Then some sec guys will come across and they'll ask you, why have you made some changes? Because you're making a changes to the rule, right? So you can't directly change up to a rule and say that I'm making changes for myself. No, it cannot be done. Okay, it generally be IMAP itself. So IMAP is the only key. Okay. We are not getting any other process, right? So either system administrators or some other process will, some other people will be able to handle that. Okay, you have to raise a request to make any changes. So the reason for the request, change request. So everything has to be mentioned. Got it? You cannot check who is using what. No, it will be triggered as a rule configuration change alert, which will be gotten to security analyst people. So if there are any configuration changes made, that will be reflected to us saying that rule will get triggered. Okay, that's how we'll get to know that somebody has made some configuration changes which was not authorized. Okay, even if it's authorized, but basically people cannot make that configuration changes because they won't have the permission to do so. Okay, you can check also, you can go to Outlook in your corporate email and pretty much try to do it by yourself. You need to have administrative access for that. If you have administrative access, then yes, you can do, but at the same time, it will trigger an alert asking why was the changes made? Do you have a change request? That's what you'll ask if you have a change request, but nobody would do to POP3. Okay, got it? Understood? Understood? No? Maybe? Yes? No? Where is this guy who asked me so many questions and he's not even replying? Okay, understood. Where is this guy, man, who asked me like some 10 to 20 questions and he's not even replying to my answer? Where are you? Where did you disappear to? Okay. That's why I said you read about POP3 and IMAP. You'll see a major difference in here and there. Okay. So POP3 is it's a protocol wherein only it's allowed to download the particular message to your inbox into your local computer. Okay. It's only meant to download that. IMAP is much more advanced. right now. Okay, we don't see. We always need an advanced tool. That's why we use IMAP as our major factor. Okay, we don't use POP3. Not much. No, nowhere we use POP3. Okay, because if you use POP3, right, and you try to download and keep, then the original content will be deleted. Okay, it won't be there in other system. Yeah, exactly. So it won't be there. So what's the point of that when it comes to organization? Yes, for locally you can do it, but there is no point in that being deleted, right? So when you download it through POP3, it will pretty much be deleted. Yeah, there is no data backup. Yeah. There are different cases. POP3 is very quick, okay, and it can be considered as it never be breached because it doesn't have internet connectivity itself because it's offline and no phishing attack or hacker can actually get into that, right? Because it's offline, right? That's one of the good advantage. But the point is when you download it in POP3, okay, when you download it in POP3, you will never be able to check it in different system. Okay, it will be there in only one particular system. Suppose if you're using your mobile phone and your laptop also, if you download it in your mobile phone, in your laptop, in that Gmail, it won't be there. It will be in your storage device. Okay, but if your phone crashes, right, then it's gone. Okay, then it's gone. The email also, the emails, whatever is there in your phone will also be crashed along with the phone. Okay, so learn a bit more about the things. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. We'll continue. With the process. Okay. So hopefully this was valuable enough for you guys to understand. We'll check few other things as well. We go to phishing emails. Any other question, guys? My throat. Damn. Any other question, guys? Anything else you want to ask? You'll be pretty much working in Proofpoint or some other. The majority of the company uses Proofpoint itself. So for email security, as their email security, so the majority of the time you will be seeing all the emails coming from Proofpoint itself. So Proofpoint is a very powerful device. It has major other functionality wherein it can block almost half of the things right there and then. Okay, everything will get quarantined and it will be determined as renderless. Okay. If time permits, I'll tell few things about Proofpoint as well. Okay, few things about Proofpoint. Few good things about Proofpoint because Proofpoint contains attachment defense, virus, antivirus scanning, anti-spoof scan, filters. Okay, there are so many things, filters and URL defense scan, and it also, this anti-spam also contains spam detection algorithms as well. Okay, spam detection algorithms as well, which will be really helpful when an email is coming and to determine if this is malicious or not. Okay, anti-spam. So there are so many things that comes in Proofpoint. Did anyone explain you related to Proofpoint? Yeah, go through POP3 and IMAP. It's pretty simple, guys. You'll understand pretty easily. Okay, and it's not something that that major, and you have to break your heads down for that. It's pretty simple. Okay, but these configuration changes and all will not be in your hand to do so. Okay. That guy hasn't still replied me yet. Darshu Shah, who is this? He sent me his name. He's even there or he disappeared? Okay, I think he's sleeping. Okay, so if you can see my screen, how do you work on phishing alerts? Okay, that's what we are going to learn. You already learned major things in that, but just to correlate, we'll see other things as well. Okay. Okay, proof point is Palo Alto is a firewall. Okay, it's basically they are mainly known for their own firewalls, but Palo Alto contains email security as well, which they provide for what do you say mm, for email security, which is Proofpoint. Okay, so Proofpoint they have not taught you. Maybe in the future, maybe they will teach you. I'm not sure. Okay, they should have thought it's a different tool. Okay. Palo Alto is basically a firewall. Okay, so in the first thing, you know what you have to gather. Okay, we'll see what kind of details that we'll be fetching. So when an alert comes, okay, when an alert comes, the reported phishing mail comes. The email opens in this MSG format. MSG format is the ones which we checked earlier, right? The format of the header. Okay, that we checked the email. Okay. Proofpoint. Proofpoint is a software. Okay. Not teached yet. I'm not sure who is taking that up. Proofpoint. Palo Alto. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure who is. It's not in my syllabus though. But I think it's there. I guess, right? I think somebody else will be taking that probably. Okay. Let's see. Somebody might take. Earlier, I was taking that. My syllabus was a little different to now. I was teaching all those things, but right now it's not in my syllabus. Okay, syllabus changes frequently. Okay, so basically, when an email comes, right? So what are the different things that we'll check, right? So collect the informations, right? So we need to collect the information: who is the sender, receiver, subject name, session ID, timestamp. Okay, what time it got received and what time it came. Okay, and also we'll check for the recipient details like permission of the user, who is that user, if he's a VIP user or is a some other candidate if he's a manager. So because your priority changes at point to point in time, right? So that's the reason. Okay. So okay, if there is any URLs present, okay, don't click on that URL. Copy the copy it to the notepad, because directly clicking it might trigger that particular process. So this is one of the way. Usually we copy it and directly put it in our lab, virtual lab, dirty lab, to analyze that particular process, because we'll never do that in our live environment. Okay, we'll never do that in your live environment. We have a separate environment to do so. Okay, copy the internet header, okay, to check the details. Okay. Copy the email to the sandbox to download the attachment. So basically, if there are any attachments, as I said, any PDF drive or any other process, you basically grab that and pretty much put it in Joe sandbox or any other sandboxing to ensure what kind of details it will give. Okay. So you do all these process. So these are the basic things. These orange markers are the basic things that we pretty much grab and submit. Okay. So after that, your analysis, green is the analysis process. This gray one is the recommendation process. Okay. So once every detail is done, what kind of recommendations you give will be here. There are plenty of recommendations. It's not that we have to give every bit of detail. It depends on scenario to scenario what kind of details we want to give. Okay. Not every time we'll see a phishing alert, but still we'll consider all emails as a phishing and we'll check for this entirely. Okay, fully we'll check everything as if it's a phishing email. That's the mindset that we need to have. Okay, so raise a ticket for the email security team. Okay, in few organizations, what they do is they raise a direct ticket to the email security team. But in few organizations, you yourself will be handling the email analysis. Okay, you won't be doing any other process. You yourself will be handling and yourself will be quarantining or killing that process or either allowing it depending on the situation. Okay, and basically giving the recommendations. Or else, if they have a separate email team, you will raise a ticket and you will give the detailed analysis and give the recommendations as well. Okay, something has to be there, right, in the ticket. Basically, those are meant for auditing and documentation. So tickets are raised in terms of auditing in the later future. Okay. So second point is check whether the email is public domain like Gmail or Yahoo. Because if you see for some emails which is coming from Gmail and all, it's basically a spam 100%. Okay, but if in case if it's related to some internal process, then it's fine. You have to check what kind of content is there. Okay, if it's something related to the company, you will get to know because all the company's details and process will be mentioned. You can confirm with the user saying that are you expecting this email from this person to send you, right? At that point in time, you can pretty much forward it. Okay, leaving it. If he's not expecting something else, then it's pretty much a spam. You can directly block it. Okay. Check the sender's domain reputation against the threat intelligence tool. Basically, what we did in virus total and all. Basically, what and all it says here, everything we have done it. Okay, basically sending the checking for the domain. Okay, what kind of domain it is. Basically, not only checking the domain, will also be understanding who is the domain, what is the domain exactly is, how old is it. Basically, checking all the other details. Okay, also domain who is lookup to identify what exactly that is, like whom it's belonging to, and when it was registered. As we saw yesterday, it was registered on 2014, like for SOC experts itself. So these are the things that we'll be checking on different subjects. Okay, got it. And also, as I said, open it on MSG format to check whether the mail is written poorly or not. Okay, to check the process if it's written urgent in any urgency, grammar mistake, any incorrect words. Okay, so basically whatever we checked yesterday is written here. Okay, if any links or hyperlinks are there in the email body, right click, copy it and send it to the threat info or TL. Okay, threat intelligence tool. So majority of the time, few of the times what happens is not every threat intelligence would understand what exact that link is. So if you have a dirty lab, then it's well and good because you can go there and basically click on it however you want. Okay, you will get to know where it's leading to, what kind of process that is being followed, right? So if that particular link is going to some malicious website, which right? So at that point in time, we can clearly tell that this is a false domain which is trying to lead, wherein that is actually a compromised site. It is a compromised site. Okay, so basically that. Third is, if any zip files are attached in the malicious PDF, other things and all, you have to do it in the basically in sandboxing. That's the best option that you can have. Sandboxing. You can also use that copy PDF file in virus total also. Okay, if you have some PDF file, you can also check in virus total also. Why this is in blank? Okay, so if you if you see here, even hybrid analysis also has the same thing. Okay, let me go here. My system is very slow, guys, for some reason. So you can see here, choose file, it says, right? Okay. Okay, if you see here, choose files, it says, right? So when you click on this, docs will get opened. I mean, your tab will get opened. and you can choose the particular file which you want to upload. You can choose the particular file which you want to upload and pretty much get the result what exactly that particular document is. Okay, basically threat intelligence scan will be done in that particular process. Okay, got it. All right. Apart from that, obviously we'll check for hash exemptions. Okay, collect the hash of those attachment and pretty much get to know the process what exactly that particular process is. Proof point email security gateway or just email analysis tool? Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, we'll come to that 1 minute. Let us not skip this. Okay, so copy the internet header. Okay, copy the internet, check for the return path, reply to reputation of the domain name that appears in the header. Okay, so basically you're checking for the reputation of the IP address and the domain names. The same thing what we did yesterday, that is what replying, checking for the return path, checking for the compliance of Denmark, alignment and other DKIM. Also the records will check as per we analyzed today. So all these things will be checking in to authenticate if everything is all right, if Denmark is pretty much clear or not, right? So that's what we are checking. Complete email analysis we did today. So these are the checks that we do. Okay, if everything is passed, then it's good. If few things are not clear, then we have to check, understand what exactly it is like we did today. We have to analyze different scenarios and grab different scenarios. Okay, and aspects and results. Okay, so that is what we did today, and copy the email to the sandbox. This is the only thing that we didn't do pretty much, but it just gives you the result. Okay, downloading and attachment to the sandbox is the only thing that we see here. I can also give you like how it will look. Basically, we use Joe sandbox result. Let me just so pretty much when you upload the particular PDF file or a document, right, you will pretty much get where is it? 100% sure that I clicked on that particular process itself. As you can see here, some exe executable file or some PDF file, anything can be sent here, but not text record because it's in plain format, right? It will not be able to read anything. Okay, not text record. Apart from text record, you can put anything, any executable file, any PDF to get a base return. Okay, so it will give the sample name, what exactly it is, ID, the hash value. It will basically determine every other thing. If it's malicious, it will tell what are the signatures that were found, which considered to be malicious. If it's suspicious, if it's clean, if it's unknown also, it will give all the details. So that's why Joe Sandbox is really powerful because it runs on a separate environment. It's basically a cloud environment wherein it fetches all the data. So you see a score, right? This is the spam score. Basically, it reaches to 100. Okay. This if time permits, I'll just explain you what exactly this spam core is and why it's reaching 100. Okay, there are different cases wherein it reaches to 100. Okay, and there is also something called as spam detection algorithm, which pretty much is like a dictionary based scanning process. Okay, dictionary based scanning process. So Proofpoint contains all those things. Okay, so as you can see, this gives you an overview idea what particular document that is. So within this itself, we can understand that particular document attached in the PDF is a malicious one. All right. So that's what this says is copy the email to the sandbox and download the attachment. Okay. What exactly is going on? Never download it in your virtual machine. I mean, in your live environment. Always forward the download to your if you are using a dirty lab, forward it to there. Okay, forward it to through email so that you can access the. You also need to have a fake email. Okay, which is never written on your name. You need to have a fake email in your dirty lab so that you can access all these kinds of stuff. Okay, wherein that will be configured and you can pretty much access that there. Okay.
If the user has clicked on the link or downloaded the attachment, check for any sort of malware infection and monitor the threat logs originating from the host. So basically, if in case the user have clicked on a particular document or clicked on a particular software, you also need to check for the threat logs. So in Palo Alto, there is something called as traffic logs, there is something called as threat logs, there is something called as URL filtering logs. So you'll have to go to threat log because that's where the threat lies, right? So you'll get identify different scenario. That's why you need a timestamp for. That's why you need a timestamp for. So based on that timestamp, you need to check what time the user got that, and based on that certain time frame, let's say that 20 minutes of time frame when from he got, you need to check for the threat logs if he has sent any that particular event or not. Okay. Obviously, you'll have that attachment you would have scanned. You would have got the hash file also. When you copy it to the sandbox, you'll get to the hash value also. You can check the threat logs in terms of hash values as well. So that will be pretty much easy. It will not be time consuming just based on the time scale. So you can check on two different ways. You can utilize two different ways. Okay. Finally, check the traffic that is originating from the host soon after the phishing mail is received. Okay. So you have to see if the particular mail was received at that point. Later after that, what kind of traffic we get. Okay. Traffic logs contain all sorts of logs, but it doesn't have a threat log. Okay. But you can see the communication request where it's going to, from where it's coming to, because you have the IPs, right? So you can check in terms of that particular IP, putting that IP and seeing if that particular IP is trying to communicate any further, so more or not. So this is where you can check a few of the stuff. Okay. Before, these are the analysis method that you do. Okay. And after that, you do give a what do you say, recommendation, wherein if you find this if you find this malicious, you basically block the domain at the email gateway itself. Okay, you block the process at the email gateway itself. Okay, wherein that particular email will no longer be able to communicate. Okay, that is one thing. Block the associated IP set firewall. So you can, if you get the IP right, you can block it in the firewall itself to complete the process. Okay. If there are any other copies of the email in others users mailbox, so take permission and delete them. So when you are dealing with this process, right, when you're checking in terms of analysis, what happens is in the proof point, you can check on different scale. You can send, you can check on sender, you can check on process. Okay, 1 minute, I'll tell you. In proof point, okay, something like that, sender detail you can put, right, or else you can put subject detail. So what we do is usually is we put subject detail. So subject, what kind of subject the user got, that subject detail you'll put it here, so that anybody associated with that subject line and that sender activity. Let's say it was sent from IO at fish.com. Okay, IO.fish.com. So this was the sender who sent the email, and this was the subject line. So we say select this and send it for 24-hour search in the proof point. So whoever gets this email associated with this email, no matter how many people are there, you have to check and verify with all the people and basically delete that particular email. That's how you're checking. You're basically checking for different scenarios wherein was it sent to only one person or was it sent to others as well. So that's what we are trying to check in proof point, basically identifying the resource. Okay. So that's what we are checking here. The third point mentions this. Okay. Basically taking permission. If others also got it, we'll send the same process, raise a ticket that it was sent to different users as well. And basically we have asked them to delete them. Okay. So that's how it works. The fourth point is if the user has clicked on the link download attachment and has been infected, ask the users to change the credentials. So if in case, as you said earlier, if you had downloaded or clicked on any process, it's safe. It's the best practice to change his credentials, because you know you may never know what kind of process that a malware would have done. It would have been a credential stealer, wherein it would have accessed the user's credentials. So at that point in time, it's safe to assume that immediately you have to change the credentials as soon as possible, because he has already gotten infected. So we may never know what kind of details that was there, but immediately we have to make sure that the credentials has been changed. Okay. Monitor the host for next 7 days. So since he has already done the malicious activity, okay, that means he has downloaded the process. So it's safe to assume that we monitor that particular host for next 7 days just to make sure, because there is always a possibility that he might get the email again, right? He might get infected again. That's why we monitor that particular host entirely, not just the email, the entire host. So we are keeping an eye in firewall, in your endpoint tool, and in your proof point. So these are the three things where we keep an eye for any changes that are made in this system. Okay. Finally, we educate the user of the technique and techniques used in the phishing email. Okay. Once it is considered that this particular download is malicious and it has the potential capability of harming the users, endpoint users, that time you can consider it as a phishing. Apart from that, if it's some other process which are just general, there is no malicious attachment, it's just something else, we can determine if it's a credit stealer, if it's a spam email, or if it's a marketing email. We can determine a different category. Okay, understood, guys? How does the phishing alert works? So when you're going to the interview, you can pretty much conclude all these pointers. You don't have to mention everything, but few of the major pointers you can tell and you can finish it off. It takes hardly 2 minutes to explain. Okay. Okay, Mohammad's question. Proofpoint is an email gateway or just an analysis tool? So it comes through, it logs, it basically logs the email gateway. So we have an email gateway where this keeps a track out of it, wherein this will fetch all the details that is coming from the email, and the Proofpoint contains its own filtering capabilities where it will determine this is a false positive, or this is an actual alert. Okay, it checks on email gateways. Okay, got it? So there could be different email gateway vendors. Few use Cisco, few use Barracuda networks, few use Clear Swift, Forcepoint. There are many. Okay, Norton. So there are many email gateways out there which uses that. Okay. Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, Cisco email gateway. So yeah, many use Cisco gateway. Many use Barracuda, right? Barracuda networks. Many use Forcepoint also. So I see majority of the people using Forcepoint as their email gateway. So that Cisco and all, and Barracuda is one of the popular ones out there. Okay. So you need to understand what kind of email gateway that you are using also. Okay, guys, understood? Any doubt? Brute force attack is there. We'll do an analysis also that probably we'll be doing tomorrow. That is what I forgot the name. I think I have pasted it somewhere here. Let's defend. Okay, as tomorrow we'll be checking on few of the. Are you serious? Okay, this was an open source tool wherein you could have pretty much what to say analyzed event. There will be like use case. It will be pretty much like a SIM tool. Okay, it's a replication of a SIM tool wherein all the details will be mentioned in terms of. It's not that flexible, but at the same time, it gives you an idea how you can analyze stuff. So I used to use this, but I think there is some server issue, 404 issue it says. So somewhere a server connection is not being taken. I think this has been removed altogether. That's why it says 404 error. Hopefully this is not removed. Okay, because this is what we are supposed to do tomorrow. Okay, apart from this analysis, apart from this process, We were supposed to analyze few other processes as well. Apart from this, we used to analyze few processes as well. Hopefully this gets fixed till by tomorrow. Okay. Any question, guys? Let me open it here. Maybe it's something else. Oh yeah, it opens. No worries then. I have logged in, so I should be good to go by tomorrow. Okay. So we'll work on few major factor in terms of understanding what exactly is the alert and what kind of detail. So this is pretty much like a SIM tool. Okay, this is pretty much like a SIM tool which has endpoint inbuilt in them and which has threat intelligence inbuilt in them, and how it's triggered. We'll check hash values. We can assign alert to ourselves and pretty other factors as well. Okay, I'll take this attendance. Okay, guys, log into Magic Portal. Okay, so these are few of the process that we can pretty much work on. Okay, hopefully today's topic was clear. We did only tomorrow we'll be checking on what different ransomware attacks. Okay, we'll check on ransomware attacks, attack vectors. So see how ransomware can be identified and can be solved. Okay, we'll check on user. If you want, we can do this also. Okay, not do this, but basically learn about this. Okay, DDoS attack, what we have to do. Okay, DDoS attack, we already learned few things, right? Hopefully. DDoS, you already know a little bit how to prevent it, what kind of details that we can do, right? Okay. Everybody understood today's topic now, guys? Today's session was clear? Okay. Yeah, let's explain. No worries. DDoS will explain. We'll see what kind of different steps we can take to prevent a DDoS. Okay, that is pretty much DOS itself. Okay, as you can see here, let me just share my screen. This is DOS itself, but I'll be explaining in terms of DDoS only because DOS doesn't serve much purpose. Okay, DOS doesn't serve much purpose. The reason being it's just one from one system to another system or another server that they're trying to hit. Okay, it's not that it's going a DDoS. So this is a DOS attack, but I will be telling in terms of DDoS itself. So we'll include some other pointers as well. But let's focus on what kind of DDoS attack and how they can use, because I am working every day in terms of DDoS attack itself. So we see a lot of DDoS attacks in a day-to-day basis. So that should be pretty much be helpful to get a clear depth idea how you can pretty much work on it. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, guys. Hopefully the session was good enough for you guys, and hopefully you learned something out of it. Okay. Okay, guys. Chalo. Thank you so much. Okay. A good response today. I got a good response. I'm happy. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll take care. We'll catch up tomorrow. Okay. Bye. Take care, guys. Do your assignment, guys. Do your assignment, please. Do your assignment. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Appreciate it. Thank you.